A la cuarta semana, toda la tarea necesita estar en mudo el jueves, el 26 de enero. Hoy vamos a hablar de los días de la semana, meses del año y las palabras interrogativas. Primeramente voy a decir todos los días de la semana para que puedan escuchar la pronunciación. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Si son plurales, no cambia la palabra. The word does not change to los luneses, si es doble. Es el lunes. Y solo usan mayúscula o capital letter cuando es un proper noun. Por ejemplo, Viernes Santo o Plaza Domingo de Septiembre. Aquí sí usan mayúscula. They use a capital letter, pero usualmente no. Y algo más para notar es que en los países hispanohablantes la semana empieza con lunes, no empieza con domingo, como nosotros hacemos, empieza con lunes. Ok, un ejemplo. ¿Cuándo tienes la clase de español? Tengo la clase de español el martes. El martes. Mira, no usamos mayúscula. We're not using capital letter. And yo is in parentheses because subject pronoun like this is optional. It is implied with the verb, so you do not need to use it. Ok, meses del año. Otra vez la pronunciación de estos meses. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. La misma cosa con las celebraciones, solo usamos los mayúsculas cuando es un proper noun. Viernes Santo, Plaza Domingo de Septiembre, así es. Otra cosa para notar es que en los países hispanohablantes ellos usan día, mes y después año. Nosotros hacemos mes, día, año y es diferente. Pues es bueno clarificar con el paciente, to clarify with the patient, su fecha de nacimiento, la fecha de la cita, cualquier cosa. Clarify with the patient to make sure they understand. Ok, ¿cuál es su fecha de nacimiento? Mi fecha de nacimiento es el 5 de octubre. Perdón. Ok, palabras interrogativas. You have a whole lesson on this. So my purpose for putting this in here today, I do not want to take a ton of time, but just to go over quickly what the words mean. And then you can kind of read through some examples on your own, okay? So, ¿qué? Means what? ¿Quién? Who? Oftentimes you'll see con quién, con quién. This is how we would mostly see this. ¿Dónde? Meaning where. Identifying where a pain is probably the most common way you guys will use it here. ¿Cómo? How? ¿Cuál? Is which. ¿Por qué? Why? Just a reminder, actually I don't have this here, but why, por qué, is two separate words here, like it's like one por and que separated, but if you needed the word because, they squish together and it's still por qué, but it's one word. This doesn't really exist in English. We use multiple words to do this. We say, is there pain, or are there capsules available instead of pills? In Spanish, they just use one word, hay, and they use it in both there is or is there, or there are there. So it's, hay dolor aquí. Is there any pain here? No, doctor, no hay dolor. There is no pain. So that can be confusing. If you want practice, please let me know and we can chat about it. Cuando means when. And this is using the past tense. Do not worry about that. If again, I will be giving you structures to use if it is beyond what we have learned in class. Cada cuando, how often. En cuanto, this is how much, how many, and if it's plural, you'll change it to with an S, so you'll see either cuantos or cuantas, and this is also it also changes with the gender of the noun. So in this case, it's like veces, like how many times. So this is feminine and plural, so I'd said cuantas veces, okay? All right, I'm going to just give you guys a couple of examples that you could take and practice on your own, and if you want to check and see if you did it correctly, you can come to office hours or the conversation sessions and we can discuss it. So, when you are forming a response in Spanish, you should be looking for the subject. Right. Like I said before, the subject isn't necessarily optional, but it is many times implied with the verb. So, for example, like here, okay, toma el té 2 veces al día. It means drink the tea twice a day. This is a command. They're saying you drink the tea, right? Twice a day, but you don't need to put the you in there because it's implied. Okay. So the verb will obviously tell you the action, but it will also identify the subject. So for example, here I did not put, when I say creo here, I didn't put, yo creo. You don't need to, because the only time you'd have yo creo is if it was yo. So it's implied. The object obviously completes the sentence. So if you want to practice these, you're going to write responses to these. So you can make them up. I'll just read them to you. Cuando tiene la cita, Sara? ¿Dónde está el dolor? ¿Por qué necesito la medicina? ¿Cuándo puede regresar usted? So you're first going to want to identify like the subject of the sentence, the verb, and the object. That way you can answer the question. All right. Oh, I don't like that. Sorry. If you are forming the question, you're looking at the response and you're trying to think, okay, what is this sentence trying to tell me? If it's time, if it's telling me the time of something, well, then I would probably need to use when or cuando. If it's telling me the name of someone, I would probably say who. If it's telling me a place, I would talk about where, donde. Who is the sentence about? So then if you find the subject, that will be helpful too. Is it a he, she? Then you would, if you're talking in the third person, if I say, él tiene una cita el jueves a las 12. Well, I already know it's he, so then the question would be, ¿a qué hora tiene el cita José o él? And then, so I know that they're going to be the same, basically. If the sentence is about, if someone's talking about themselves, if I said, yo tengo una cita el jueves a las 12, then the question will have to be, what time do you have an appointment? ¿A qué hora tiene usted una cita? So these are some responses, and you can form the question if you want to practice. Me duele mucho mi estómago. Tengo una cita con la doctora Matus. Usted necesita usar la crema cada noche. Lo siento, solo tenemos las cápsulas. So you can try to form the questions to practice. Okay, eso es todo. Muchas gracias por estar aquí y escucharme. Si tiene alguna duda, alguna pregunta, por favor, mándame un correo, mándame un text, llámame o podemos vernos el martes a las 6. Ok, muchas gracias.